Good morning and welcome to another edition of your program, Lagos This Morning, live here on Flip TV. It's Friday and we're so excited to be here from Monday to Friday. You know, we'll be doing this together with you and we're here to wrap up the exciting week. A week filled with so much activities, especially what went down yesterday. But anyways, we're here to talk about each and every one of them, dissect them and give you more insights into many of the talking points going on around Nigeria. So wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching us from, we say good morning and welcome to Lagos This Morning. My name is Ebuka Izobika.
Good morning, Lagos, and good morning, our dear esteemed viewers across the globe. Ekaro, Inakwana, Otutuhoma, as the Igbo, Otutuhoma. Okay.
Yeah.
As the Igbo people would have it.
Yeah.
Good morning, good morning. You're welcome to Lagos This Morning once again. And hi, I'm Kufurola Durutimiuke.
All right, yeah, welcome to the show. This morning is the 27th day of October, and we'll have to go straight into the details of the program today. We have the headlines coming up next, and also today on the program, we'll be having some public analyst that is going to be talking to us today, talking about the judgment of the Supreme Court that has affirmed the candidacy or the presidency of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So we have some public analysts that will be inviting today on the show just to give us more insight and more analysis concerning many of the talking points that were generated from the judgment of the Supreme Court yesterday. So today is basically loaded as usual on Lagos This Morning show. So quickly, let's go into the headlines for today.
All right. The first headline we have here is President Tinubu welcomes Supreme Court's verdict.
And still on the headlines today, we have Senate to ban local FX transactions, proposes jail term.
Nigerians to pay less for transportation with CNG buses. Minister for Transportation says.
The Supreme Court has failed Nigerians. The judgment is disappointing. This is coming from the People's Democratic Party, the PDP.
It's time to come together. Badabi Amilas tells Atiku and Obi.
And over to the business side of things, frozen fish, chicken, retailers protest the high cost of these commodities.
And in foreign news, we have Israel conducts raid in Gaza as Netanyahu says ground incursion will come.
And finally, on entertainment this morning, Naira Marley to sue K Solo for defamation of character over Mohbad's death. So these are some of the issues we'll be discussing on the show today. Not forgetting the public analyst that will be joining us to dissect the issues concerning the judgment of the Supreme Court yesterday. After the short break, we'll be right back to go into the talking point.
Just stay with us.
100 Nereko, Esambaseko.
All right, welcome back. This is still Lagos This Morning on Flip TV, and we are live here, still in the studio, reaching you from our studios live in Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos This Morning. So let us go straight into the topics that we have for you today. The talking points or some of the headlines that Nigerians are basically talking about. Now, we're talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Like you all know, we all mentioned that we've seen the videos and that he has come outside to congratulate the people of the APC and also salute the judges for making sure that the our democracy is still intact. Saluting them for a human's job and for a job well done so far concerning the matters that were generated, being brought to the courts by the Labour Party and also the People's Democratic Party. So the president finally has come out to, to salute everybody and also to say that let work continue. He has already hit the ground running, and he's come out right now to say that yes, as it is, he hopes that things will keep getting better from here. Don't forget, this is part of what to form the basis of our talking points today on the show. I don't know if I have the video ready, but the video should be live on your screens. The voice of the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
This moment off. We've concentrated on uh, pulling Nigeria from the boot trap of depression. And we understand the sovereignty of the country. You don't need additional distraction to be able to concentrate on building a new economy for the people, an inclusive one for that matter. And the judgment of the Supreme Court put a stop to shenanigans, put a stop to innuendos, put a stop to lies or trial in the media and public place. The court has demonstrated indivisible commitment to rule of law and humanity, and their commitment to do justice for all Nigerians, regardless of ethnic, religious, or any other biases.
President of the country, Bola Tinubu, he has urged Nigerians to join hands with him to rebuild Nigeria following the Supreme Court's judgment, which affirmed his victory at the February 25 presidential election. Now, the president, while reacting to the verdict of John Okoro-led panel at the Supreme Court on the presidential elections petition, the judgment was on the petitions filed by the candidates of the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party challenging the ruling of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. Like we mentioned on the show, we have public analyst Gani Kayode Balogun Jr. and also Mr. Razak Olukoba will be joining us on the show this morning to dissect many of these issues arising from the courts yesterday.
Okay, and then moving on to the next story we have here is Senate to ban local FX transaction, the proposed jail term. A bill that seeks to bar a seven governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria from partisan politics and equally reposition the bank for efficiency, scheduled second reading in the Senate on Wednesday. A second bill seeking to prohibit the use of foreign currencies for local transactions was considered. One of the consolidated bills titled Central Bank of Nigeria Establishment Amendment Bill 2023 was sponsored by Senator Steve Karimi, the All Progressive Congress, Kogi State, while the second one titled A Bill to Amend the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007 and for matters connected therewith 2023 was sponsored by Senator Darlington Nwokocha, the Labour Party, Abia Central. Recall that the immediate past CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, attempted to contest the 2023 presidential primaries of the APC while in office. The move was widely condemned by Nigerians who wondered how a seven public servant could seek an elective office contrary to extant provision of the Constitution. Karimi further explained in the explanatory memorandum of his bill that the proposed legislation was aimed at amending the CBN Act to allow for greater accountability and transparency in the running of the Apex Bank and to prohibit the use of foreign currency in local transactions in Nigeria. The Kogi West Lawmakers Bill also seeks to prohibit the use of foreign currency for domestic transactions in Nigeria. The bill seeks an amendment to Section 20 of the CBN Act by inserting Section 20A. Hmm.
Hmm. All right, and that is coming, and I think it's a good one. So let's see
Yeah.
how it goes. I'm moving on now to other stories. Now, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has said that Nigerians will pay less for transportation with the introduction of the compressed natural gas powered buses (CNG). This is contained in a statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations, the Ministry of Finance. His name is Stephen Kilebi on Thursday. Now, Edo said this during a town hall meeting with the management and staff of the ministry in Abuja. The statement noted that the minister sought the cooperation and support of staff to enable him to deliver on the mandates given him by the President Bola Tinubu-led administration. And based on Nigerians have been clamoring because of since the removal of fuel subsidy, the hike in the price of transportation has drastically gone up. And Nigerians have been wondering when will these CNG buses come in. The president promised this months ago during the Democracy Day celebration. And he said that yes, many of these buses would be available. Yet now we are yet to see them. But from assurance from the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, is promising Nigerians that soon that the buses will be available, and not just being available, it would be at cheaper rate that the common man would be able to afford these buses.
Okay, let's move on to the next story we have for today is Supreme Court failed Nigerians. Judgment disappointing, says the PDP. The People's Democratic Party has described the Supreme Court judgment as disappointing. The Apex Court upheld the judgment of the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal, affirming the victory of All Progressive Congress (APC) presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission. The PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and the Labour Party Peter Obi filed, had filed petitions challenging the victory of the President Tinubu as the winner of the presidential election announced by the INEC on March 1. However, a five-man panel of the tribunal led by Justice Aruna Sazamani in September agreed that the petitions accordingly lacked merit and affirmed the return of President Tinubu. Dissatisfied with the tribunal's judgment, the LP presidential candidate and his counterpart in PDP filed 86 grounds of appeal at the Supreme Court to nullify the judgment. The Apex Court on Thursday dismissed their petitions for lack of merit. And then, reacting to the Supreme Court judgment in a statement on Thursday, PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Ologun Agba said they are alarmed, disappointed, and gravely concerned with the reasoning of the Apex Court. Okay, so this is just on the Supreme Court judgment
Yeah.
yesterday, and then with the party, the LP party, Peter Obi, and PDP party, Atiku Abubakar.
So far as it is, they are just trying to come to terms with what has gone on in the process leading to the judgments. Both parties not satisfied from the body language and the responses we have gathered so far from both Debo Ologunagba and also the Labour Party chairperson Aburi. They both spoke yesterday. But in continuation of that particular story, or in response rather, the president, the chief of staff to the president of the federation, Femi Gbajabiamila, has urged the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, and his Labour Party counterpart, Mr. Peter Obi, to accept the Supreme Court judgment and come together for Nigeria. Now, after months of legal talks, the Apex Court found Tinubu as the winner of the 2023 elections. Now, the Supreme Court Justice John Okoro led panel unanimously held that Obi and Atiku's appeal against Tinubu were bereft of merit and deserved to be dismissed. The other justices of the panel are Owani Aji, Mohammed Garba, Ibrahim Salua, Adamu Jauru, Abubakar Tijani, and Emmanuel Agim. Like we mentioned yesterday, the courts will always tell you that you need to, prove everything beyond reasonable doubt. And part of what the judge said yesterday is that many of their submissions lacked merit. Now, addressing newsmen shortly after the judgment within the courtroom in Abuja on Thursday, the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, who described the litigation as a distraction, assured that Tinubu will continue to extend his hands of fellowship to Atiku, Obi, and other Nigerians. He stated that the litigation is a distraction. The litigants exercise their rights to go to court, but that has come to an end now. We now have we now have to all come together as one country and one people and move ahead to take the country where it rightfully should be. So this is me verbatim or quoting what the chief of staff told the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, had to say after the judgment being done out by the Supreme Court yesterday.
All right, so before we proceed into the business news and foreign news and entertainment news, we'll go on a quick short break. And when we're back, we'll be having our guest on the show in the person of Gani Kayode Balogun and Mr. Razak Olokooba, as they will be talking on the Supreme Court's judgment yesterday and way forward for Nigeria. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
100 Nereko, Esambaseko. Nereko, Esambaseko.
Lagos this morning, live on Flip TV, and we have been flipping the news headlines to you this morning. We've talked about the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and how he's happy about the judgment coming out from the Supreme Court, and also we've mentioned about the speaker, or rather, the former speaker of the House of Representatives, who is also the chief of staff right now to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, who has called on other party members and also opposition party members too, the likes of Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party and also Alhaji Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party. They should all come together to move Nigeria forward. Yeah, just like the famous song of King Sunny Ade, Nigeria is for everybody. We have to join hands together to move Nigeria forward. Yeah, that's the song.
Like that.
Nigeria, iti gbogbo wa ni. Yeah, that is the song. I know the song basically, but I just wanted to just say. Right, so we've not heard basically from both candidates respectively, but we've been hearing from spokesperson. We've heard from the spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party, Debo Ologunagba, who mentioned that, well, the judgment from the Supreme Court is a failure, that it's something that they are not really happy about. And then from the Labour Party, the chairman of the Labour Party, Aburi, has also come out to say that the party are not happy with the results of, or with the judgment coming out from the Supreme Court.
Yes, and however, Bajabi Amila has also come out to tell the opposition party to come together and let's plan a way forward for Nigeria because that is the essence of everything. A way forward for Nigeria.
Because basically, if you're contesting to become the president of the country, one of the things you should be looking at for, even if whether you win or you lose, is on how
No.
to come together to make Nigeria a better place. It's just like game of football. It's just you either you win or you lose. In football, yes,
Yeah.
there are draws at the point, but it doesn't mean that you won't,
Hmm.
shake hands with the next person. So
Yeah.
these are some of the discussions we'll be having with our guests once they are ready for us, talking about Mr. Razak Olukoba, who is a public affairs analyst, and also Mr. Gani Kayode Balogu Jr., who is also a public affairs analyst, respecting them, so that we have other insights to these issues that are currently on ground as it is.
Okay, so while we wait for our speakers to come on board, you can we would be sending a link for you to join the chat as well. You can also join the chat
Yeah.
and then give your comments, give your review about this, about the judgments of the Supreme Court yesterday.
Yeah, you can tell us if you are satisfied with what you've heard, or how did you feel about the judgments coming out from the Supreme Court yesterday? Was it something you were expecting, or um, or vice versa? You were expecting the judgment to go that way, or you were expecting the Supreme Court to, you know, um, relinquish powers from President Bola Tinubu? What was your expectations going into that particular one, or and after that, were you surprised at the outcome from the Supreme Court? Let us get your opinion. Drop your comments there under the comment section, and you'll be glad that you'll be reading those comments in real time right here on the show
Seems,
this morning.
it seems we have some comments
Okay.
here though. We have Save Me said, "Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Save Me. We see you."
Yeah.
And Denise Douglas say premium 4 year of suffering. We never see anything.
Yeah, so we never see anything there.
We don't go see anything like that. Oh,
Mm. All right,
And
just
then
keep your comments coming through there. Keep your comments coming through. We'll keep reading them. Let's get your opinions concerning what went down in the court yesterday. If you are okay with it, if you're happy with it, let us also know what your take is coming from the Supreme Court yesterday.
I'd like to hear your take as well. What's
Yeah,
your take on it?
basically,
Wait, was this something you were expecting? You knew that this was what was going to happen.
you can never see because I was expecting it in a way
Mm-hmm.
because from the courts of tribune when the case was there was this window of
Yeah.
space that was let out, okay, for these evidences to come through. But the evidences Alhaji Atiku Abubakar submitted came in uh, late, and they tried to see if they can be able to squeeze them in. But the
Yeah.
Supreme Court, like I said yesterday, the court of law is not a place for emotions. It's what works on black and white, what has been stated in the law. And I believe that to that extent, the Supreme Court, the judges, their lordships followed what's supposed to be as it is on the law to deliver the judgment. Easily, they began to strike out these cases just as it was done in the Court of Appeal when they went to the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. In the tribunal,
Yeah.
then the judges also in that sitting began to strike out these cases. Same thing also was done yesterday, and it even took lesser time. It took lesser time for the judges to come to a conclusion on the subject matter at hand yesterday in the court. So basically, I would say I was not really surprised out the outcome. In fact, what I'm
Okay.
basically surprised at right now, it's because I'm expecting to hear from the the main characters for these parties, talking
Yeah.
about Mr. Peter Obi and also
And
Alhaji
Atiko.
Atiku
Yeah.
Abubakar. I was expecting to hear from them. Yeah, though the three of them talking about the president himself,
Mhm.
Atiku and also Obi were not present in the court, but we believe that they have gotten the news already, and we are expecting to hear from them. So I believe that by now we should have, or yeah, we should have at least heard from them. What's the next line for them? What are we going to do? Because I don't think
Okay.
there's anything they should be able to do right now.
Okay. Okay. We have one more comment as well. We have David Goddy. He said, "My take have been taken by the high neck. I've given up on Nigeria." Mm,
Your take has been taken by
by
INEC.
neck. Nice.
You don't have to give up on the country, yeah? You don't have to give up on the country as at yet, because Nigeria is the only place you are right now. No matter where you go, you see after there's only one
Yeah,
place you can
home.
call home, so you can't say you've given up totally on the process. All we can just basically
Yes.
ask for right now is that what that the from the last elections, that INEC should do what INEC should be able to implement some of those mistakes that they've noticed. Those particular mistakes, they should do what they should fix them up, because the elections are already fast and thick as it is right now. So
Please, let's not give up on Nigeria. We understand that it's a lot. Let's not give up.
let's not give up at all. Okay, I hear that we have Mr. Gani Balogun live to talk to us this morning. So I don't know if he can hear me this morning. Good morning, Mr. Gani Kayode Balogun Jr. Good morning, if you can hear me. Are you there, sir?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Hello,
Hello, can you hear me in the studio?
hello. Okay, I don't know
Can
if you
you
can
hear me,
connect with
please?
us, but we can see you alive, Mr. Gani. So we would just like to have this conversation with you in real time as it is. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
It seems the network
I'm
is
sure you can hear me now.
like that.
Good morning. Can you hear me? What's going on?
Okay, so
All right, yes, I can hear you
morning.
now. Good
Okay.
morning, sir. Yes, I can
Good
hear you now.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on? Hello?
Okay, Mr. Gani, Mr. Yes, I can hear you. Mr. Gani Kayode Balogun is a public affairs analyst, and we would like to ask you the questions coming on from the Court of Law yesterday, talking about the judgment of the Supreme Court. So, Mr. Gani, please, we would like to get your reaction from the judgment by the Supreme Court yesterday.
Good morning. I think that the judgment of the Supreme Court has just saved Nigeria from a very noisy minority. I'm sure you are hearing me now. Can you get me? Let me show you.
Yes, we're with you, sir.
Hello, Mr. Gani. If you can hear us, I think your mic has been muted. Please, can you unmute your microphone, please, so we can hear you loud and clear? Okay. All right. We can hear you now.
Press anything.
All right, Mr. Gani.
Are you there, sir?
Oh, yeah. Please try and reconnect with us, please. We apologize for the network disruption there. We sincerely apologize with Mr. Gani, but please try and reconnect with us because we would love to hear your perspective concerning some of the things that went down in the Supreme Court yesterday. We would like to get your opinion concerning these issues because we have a lot of them to discuss. So many things, so many talking points coming out from the Supreme Court yesterday. What's the way forward? Then also not forgetting what should the other parties do right now? What should they do as it is? We've not heard from both parties talking about the Labour and also the People's Democratic Party's candidate, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and also Mr. Peter Obi, because those are the parties that filed these cases in court. So we'd like to get your opinion concerning the reactions from the judgment. Don't forget, you can still keep your comments coming through right there on the comment section there. Tell us what you felt, what you think about the judgments that are coming out from the Supreme Court yesterday. Are you excited? Are you happy? What do you think? What do you have to say concerning the judgment you heard yesterday? Was it something you were expecting, or no, you were not expecting the Supreme Court to pull that particular bar? Just type your opinions and be sure to read that live and direct as it is.
Okay, let's move on to our news for today as we wait for our speakers to still try to connect with us. So, onto the business news, we have frozen fish. Chicken retailers protest high costs. As the chicken retailers are protesting high costs for frozen fish. Frozen fish and chicken retailers in Warri, Delta State on Thursday staged a peaceful protest against the rising cost of the products in the metropolis. The aggrieved traders, mostly women, armed with fresh green leaves, sang anti-government songs as they took their protest to some of the leading wholesalers of frozen foods in Warri South and local government, Uvri government areas.
Yeah.
Thanks. The protesters complained bitterly that the daily rises in prices of frozen foods were becoming unbearable, as it was having adverse effects on their businesses. One of the leaders of the aggrieved protesters, Mrs. Onoriode Onokwite, while speaking with journalists, lamented that the now recorded low patronage on daily basis. Okay, so this is just talking about in the market. So it is the traders who are out there lamenting about the rise and saying like I mean they protested for a peaceful protest. They said there could be increase in the price of frozen fish.
Mm.
So I think this is no common news that the price of things are
Yeah.
actually getting higher day by day.
Before you are a lady, so I would like to ask you this question: have you bought frozen food recently?
Yes, actually,
So
actually.
yeah, how much is it? You know, they sell, I think, kilos. There are different
Yeah, per
prices for the
kilo.
kilo per
You know,
kilo.
the
Yeah,
chicken wings I would buy at the price of 2.5 is now going to 3K plus 3K. You can imagine
at a point it was 2,500, right? Now it's 3,000.
2005.
I
Yeah.
think it depends on the area you are staying, basically, because some
Mm,
places, because for women to come out in their numbers to protest about the price of frozen foods. Now, frozen foods are talking about both chicken and
and
fish.
fish
So those are the frozen food. Now, you listening to us right now, you can also tell us how much is it in your area?
in your
In
area.
your area, talking about the price of frozen foods, how much is it in your area as it is this morning? Okay, all right. So how much is it in your area? You can also do that as it is this morning. So drop your comments on the comment section. All right. So I hear that we have Mr. Razak Olukoba. Yeah, Mr. Razak Olukoba, as it is. We have you. Hello, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
It's we have Mr.
Mr.
Gani
Gani. Okay.
Kayode. Sorry about that. Mr.
It's
Gani
okay.
Kayode Balogun on the line.
Hello.
You're welcome, sir. Yes, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Hello?
Hello, sir. I think you're okay. Okay.
Wonderful.
All right. Yeah, we
You
can hear
can
you,
hear me
sir.
now?
We can hear you. All right. You're welcome to the
Uh,
program this
I'm,
morning. Sir, can we get your reaction to the judgment from the Supreme Court?
like I was saying before the break in transmission, it was a judgment that has saved Nigeria from the fierce hold being held on it by the mob or the social media. Because if you have been watching or reading on the social media, you will think Nigeria is on the threshold of war, when in reality, Nigeria is as calm as she can be. The judgment has saved us from the bullies on social media who have been creating the impression that it's either their way or the highway. For that, I'm very happy. The Supreme Court has done the job, and they've saved us from the precipice of those who are trying to pull Nigeria down. Hello?
Okay, sir. So now you said that the Supreme Court judge and the judgment coming from the court of law is something that you are excited with, and it has saved Nigeria from going into crisis caused by social media mob. Now, is the judgment in line with the law of the public opinion? Like you already know, sir. You know that the court of law is not a place for emotions. It's a place that facts are being brought to the table. So now, just supposing what happened in the court of law with what is happening in the land right now, do you think that the people are happy with this judgment from the Supreme Court?
Of course, people are happy because it has, like I said, people are happy because a lot of people don't know the difference between governance and the election. This is about the election. People are mistaking it for as a referendum on the performance of Mr. Tinubu as president. There are two different things. So if you are talking about the fact that the case in court has been won, that is about the election itself. Is a presidency has now been validated by the court of law. That is one thing. It has absolutely nothing to do with our opinion about his performance in the last 3 months or 4 months that he has been president. So I hope that will answer your question, because you are asking me to comment on the consequences of his performance as the president to the fact that the law has taken its course by validating his election that was held in February of this year.
All right, sir. So now looking at some of the talking points from the judgments by the judges yesterday.
Yeah.
One particular issue that has been on the front burner even before the case went to the tribunal was the matter of the 25% of votes in Abuja. Now, with this judgment coming out from the Supreme Court yesterday, what's the way forward right now? How relevant is this 25% of votes in the FCT as it is stated in the law? Yes, I know you're not a lawyer, but from your knowledge as a public analyst in this
Well,
financial
I
knowledge,
think
what's the way forward right now from this 25%
the
vote
way,
in Abuja?
I don't think the 25% controversy was really as intractable as you make it appear. Because until this year, nobody has ever given it a thought. Because common sense dictates that no Nigerian is higher than the other Nigerian. And if our constitution is based on equity and justice and fairness, there is no way a part of the country will have votes that have more importance than other parts of the country. What really happened was that when people are being mischievous, they read the constitution upside down. It is very clear that what the constitution is saying is this, and let me explain to your viewers clearly. Why Abuja came in was the fact that if somebody who is contesting has 25% in 23 states, Abuja can now be used as if it were a state to make it 24. So if you have 25% in 23 states and Abuja, you are qualified to be president. Not that you must have 25% in other states, but you must also have in Abuja. Nobody does that. It doesn't really follow the course of natural justice. As Yorubas will say, no peregrine is taller than the other, unless one that is standing on the mount. So nobody has created a mount there. So it was never really a controversy. It was something thrown up by people who thought this would give them an advantage over what others have. Don't forget, nobody, neither Mr. Atiku nor Mr. Obi, got near the numbers that will give them pathway to the presidency. Obi got 25, and I think in about 16 states. And Atiku got 25 in about 20 states. So the two of them are not even qualified to raise the issue of the threshold that Mr. Tinubu got to. So I think it's only the media that is making the mountain out of a molehill, because nobody in media and nobody in the legal profession takes such things seriously, because it doesn't follow the rule of natural justice.
All right, sir.
Okay. All right, sir. So, after the judgment, will Nigeria still have confidence in the judiciary and democracy? After the judgment of the Supreme Court and everything, how it all turned out, do you think, or what do you think, will Nigeria still have confidence in the judiciary and democracy?
There are 91 registered voters in Nigeria. 91 or 93. I'm not really sure. That's 93 million people who are registered to vote. Those who voted were 866, about 22 million people voted. That means about 70 million people did not vote. Those making this noise are less than 100,000, most 200,000. So when you say Nigerians, it is funny, because there are more voters in the north than the south. I can't see anybody complaining about the judgment. There are more people in the southwest than the southeast. I don't see the majority of us complaining. So when people say Nigerians, I laugh. Where are these Nigerians? I'm talking about a very minute, very small figure of people who lost out that will complain. Majority of Nigerians have moved on with their lives. They've accepted the president. They've moved on since, and they are living their lives comfortably. It's only those who are obsessed with the reality that they think that there's a pathway to the presidency for their candidates that will still feel bad. Don't get me wrong, you have the right to feel bad if your candidate has not won. But it does not change the fact that you're a very tiny, noisy minority when in the scheme of things. Like I said, 93 million voters. Only 22 voted, out of which those who are complaining are less than 500,000. So you understand what I'm saying? So when you say Nigerians, one has to be careful, because you can only talk about those you know. I've been all over this country and I've not seen any sign of the melancholy you are talking about. So we have no other way to run this country than through the constitution and through democracy. That's the only way we have. So there will be hiccups, there will be occasional downsides, but it's still the best way forward for a multiracial, multi-religious country like Nigeria.
Okay.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for shedding that light. Now, before I will let you go now, for the candidates of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, and also the candidates of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, we know there is always this ritual of a phone call to congratulate the winners of the election. Up until this particular moment that we are speaking with you right now, we've not heard any of such from these gentlemen as it is. Yeah, so what would you advise them to continue with the struggle, or to just sheath their sword for the moment as it is?
They have no choice in the matter. There's no law that says they must congratulate the president. It's only a convention. It's not. There's no law that mandates that they do that. About continuing the struggle, there's no struggle to continue. The Supreme Court have decided. The case is ended. It is done. It is over. Except for the noise. There's nothing else they can do. That part is closed. But they can always prepare for the next election in 2027, which of course is their right. So nobody can stop them from aspiring or moving in that direction. But like I said, there is no law that says they must congratulate Mr. Tinubu. No, there is no law that says whatever they want to do, they cannot do it. But as far as the 2023 presidential elections are concerned, that ship has sailed. That door is closed. Any other thing that's just white noise.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Gani
GKB,
Kayode Balogun Jr.
GKB,
Want to really appreciate you for your
GKB.
time, for joining us. And, the network tried to play pranks on us earlier on, but then we thank you very much. Yes, GKB. Yes, thank you very much, popularly known as Mr. GKB. So we greet you and we say thank you very, very much.
Yes, I believe our viewers have things to say. I believe our viewers have their own comments. So let's keep the comment section. Let's keep dropping our review, our opinion on this issue.
Okay, on some of the comments coming through, Ugu Lagaman say this man talking about the judgment is good. It's an the word you use here is very strong, Mr. Ugu Lagaman. Yeah, Mr. Ima Samuel, you said this man is just saying anything that pleases him. You commented also, "Water full my eye, but I will be alright." LOL Nigeria na full album. God please, country now. God please, now why you this country now? Here you put me. Oh, okay. That's from Ima Samuel on the comment sections there. Anyways, we say thank you very much to Mr. Gani Balogun.
Popularly known as GKB,
GK.
the public affairs analyst.
All right, I think it's time for another short break. When we come back, we will be talking to Mr. Razak. Hopefully, he will be able to have connected with us on Lagos this morning. So, very well, we'll be right back.
100. Hundred nereko, esambaseko.
All right, so welcome back. This is still Lagos this morning, and we are still right here in the studios. We just finished speaking to Gani Kayode Balogun Jr., popularly known as GKB, who is a public affairs analyst, to shed more light on some of the happenings that went down at the Supreme Court yesterday. And we still have your comments coming through in your numbers. And don't forget, you can also join us live in the studio. Either you comment or you can also call us. The link is scrolling there on the live chat there. So you can just do what? Just click on the link to connect with us in the studio live here as it is. So we can be able to speak to you and get your points as it is.
Okay, we have a comment here. We have Emmanuel. Mana says, "Oh, I haven't missed much. I'm just joining." Oh, Emmanuel, you're welcome to the program. It's Lagos this morning, as we always have it every day. And then we've been discussing about the Supreme Court Judgement yesterday, and where we had Mr. Gani Kayode Balogun to speak to us on it. So you're welcome. Just stay with us to the
You've
end
missed
of the
quite a
program.
lot, basically.
Yes,
You've missed
boss.
quite a lot, basically. So we have a screen right there, so you can do well by, you can see it, you can't miss it. The screen, stop there under the live chat, so you can just join. So let us know what you felt or what you feel about the proceedings from the Supreme Court yesterday. What do you have to say concerning everything you saw that transpired in the court of law as the Supreme Court have affirmed President Bola Tinubu is the authentic winner of the 2023 presidential elections, and he will be the president of our country till 2027, as it is. We've seen everybody coming out to congratulate him. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio has joined the queue of congratulants. Yes, let me put it that way. As I come to congratulate him, and also we see the governor of Lagos State, so also Babajide Sanwo-Olu, congratulated the president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and we've had the minister of the FCT himself, Yeso Wike, also joining the list of those that have congratulated the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his victory in the last elections, and also the judgments coming from the Supreme Court. So do well to drop your comments. So what how do you feel concerning the judgment from the Supreme Court yesterday, as it is? So we'll keep reading your comments as we see them coming through. You can air your view with the link that you can see there. Air your view with that particular link. So once you click on that link, you can connect with us live in the studio so we can communicate with you as it is. All right. So talking more about some of the major talking points I've talked about, not forgetting even the former governor of Kano State, who is the chairman of the APC, Alhaji Ganduje, even made a proclamation that the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not just be here for the now, he's here for 8 years. Yes, so he's telling on, or he was calling on the presidential candidates of the PDP and also Labour Party of it, they should calm down and wait for another 8 years because Bola Tinubu is using 8 years. That is the word coming from Abdullahi Ganduje, the chairman of the EPC and also a former governor of Kano State. So that statement, elections are done after every 4 years, but right now he's saying for the 8 years, is nobody should even bother themselves. Maybe will be there for another 8 years. 4 plus 4 is 8. What do you have to say concerning what Ganduje came out to say during his own congratulatory message he was sending across to the president? He made that also to tell them that it's 8 years old. If you are planning that maybe after 4 years you will come and contest it at there. That was he's trying to tell other candidates. Do you think that's a statement saying that if you think if you in fact if you are thinking of it, just remove it from your mind because you will be there for 8 years. What do you think about that statement from Ganduje?
I guess it was just being like direct to let the candidates. I mean, people would still like to contest. Like we have the Peter Obi who didn't win it, so perhaps would be having this in mind that in 4 years to come he's going to contest again. So Ganduje is just putting it out that nothing calm or 8 years Jagaban would be good.
8 years Jagaban will be there. All right, so let's see how it goes. But then you can also let us know about your opinions as it is. But news just coming in currently is that the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, yes, has been released from EFCC's custody. Yes, Godwin Emefiele has been released from the custody of the EFCC. Don't forget, some days ago, should I call it his colleague or his former roommate or detention mate, talking about the former EFCC chairman, Abdulrashid Bawa, was also released after spending days, weeks, and months in the counter or in the house or the cell of the DSS. He was released 2 days ago. Right now, Godwin Emefiele has also been released by DSS. They've been there for quite a while. I think only Emefiele went to court, and court asked them to release. He was still held on by the DSS. Abdulrashid Bawa, in his own case, was never called up to the court of law. So
Okay.
finally, yeah, it's out already.
Okay, so while we are preparing to have Mr. Razak on the show, let's move on to the foreign news we have here for today is Israel. That's the Israel and Gaza. So Israel vows more raids on Gaza as calls for ceasefire divide the United Nations. Israel's military conducted a targeted raid overnight in northern Gaza and vowed on Thursday to continue ground raids in the coming days as the United Nations General Assembly met to discuss a proposed resolution for a humanitarian ceasefire. The video published by the Israel Defense Forces (IDF) on Thursday showed tanks and armored vehicles, including a bulldozer, moving on a road near a fence in northern Gaza. The tanks fired artillery and some destruction could be seen nearby. And speaking to CNN News, IDF spokesperson Peter Lennon said the raid was a clear and swift operation intended to create better terms for ground operation. If and when that comes in, he also said that the IDF actually engaged the enemy, killing terrorists who were planning to conduct attack against us with anti-tank guided missiles. The Israel's military will continue raids in Gaza over the coming days. Hmm. IDF spokesperson Yahya Adim Nadia Agari told a televised press conference later on Thursday. The ground incursions are intended to kill Hamas militants, lay the foundations for an all-out invasion and neutralize explosive devices and reconnaissance posts, is said.
Well,
Ooh,
concerning things going down
that's
in Gaza,
things is
it's
really going down
yeah,
a
like
lot.
I said, I've been saying this and I will keep on saying it. If care is not taken, it will turn to a full blown war, and I'm not sure everybody is ready for that right now, especially what is going on in Israel and Gaza. Anyways, I'm going back to your comments there. Majid, yeah, I see you, Majid. Majid say, don't they release all those thief again? They put the smiley emoji. But Majid, I have news for you. I have news for you. Now, still on the Emefiele's saga, Gordon Emefiele, the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, regained his freedom last night and was immediately picked up by operatives of the and he has been rearrested for this is he was arrested the first time, he was released, and the court here he was rearrested again. Right now, he was released last night and was rearrested by the EFCC. This is a typical case of when your village people is just following you. That's just a case of
Village people,
this is village people.
seriously.
Now, according to the cable, you understand that he is being interrogated, and there are indications that fresh charges will be fired against him. Emefiele have been in custody of the DSS ever since June after President Bola Tinubu handed him a suspension. He was thereafter asked to transfer his responsibilities to Mr. Folashodun at DBC Shonubi, the then Deputy Governor Operations Directorate at the CBN. So he was released, or he has been released by the DSS. But then the cousins of the DSS right now talking about the EFCC taking him, say, bros, come back, he's a family member. So he's still there, and we hear he's still going on with interrogations are still going on. So Majid is still there. He said he was playing now. Now he's learning the hard way. Majid, so he's learning the hard way. Don't play, otherwise you'll learn. Okay, so keep your comments still coming through on the live chat there as it says, and we'll be reading them live right here on the program. Don't forget the pin chat is there. If you want to connect with us via audio, you can do that via that link that you can find there. So once you click on the link, we can discuss any of the topical issues that we're talking about. You can also join us live and direct. Now, not forgetting that we're also looking at what happened yesterday in the Supreme Court. That forms part of the basis of our discussions this morning, and we already spoke to GKB. In case you're just joining us, we already missed that part of the show, so you have to wait later then to revert and hear what Mr. GKB had to say. So GKB is Mr. Gani Kayode Balogun, who is a well-renowned public affairs analyst. and a social commentator in his own right. So he spoke a lot about many of these issues to, portray and also expatiate on some of the proceedings that happened in the court of law yesterday. I once again want to say thank you very much, sir, for joining us today on the show. All right, moving on to other issues here that we still have to talk about. We talked about Ganduje as it is, and also not forgetting um, uh, from the celebrations coming from the APC's parties nationwide. We hear that's a full blown, not a full blown celebration, but many are already excited because of the pronunciation from the court. I know many of you will play the video concerning the speech made by the president. Yeah? We played that for you earlier so that you can have a full understanding of what the president said after he was, it was announced that he is the president. So I think we still have that in case you missed it. This is it. The president speaking to us.
This moment, we've concentrated on pulling Nigeria from the boot trap of depression. And we understand the sovereignty of the country. You don't need additional distraction to be able to concentrate on building a new economy for the people, an inclusive one for that matter. And the judgment of the Supreme Court put a stop to shenanigans, put a stop to innuendos, put a stop to lies or trial in the media and public place. The court has demonstrated indivisible commitment to rule of law and humanity, and their commitment to do justice for all Nigerians, regardless of ethnic, religious, or any other biases.
Come back, you heard that from the president, and he's telling everybody to come together. Let's work together for the betterment of the country. All right, I am Mr. Udeze. Oh, you were there before, but you can also still reconnect. Mr. Udeze, we'd like to hear from you. We saw you already, but you went off the lines there. So please try and reconnect with us so that we can be able to hear from you this morning. The live chat is still there, and we appreciate each and every one of you to tune in and look to get some more information from us this morning. Thank you very much. Although we are in the afternoon as it is right here in Nigeria, but then thank you very, very much for joining us. So you will see the chat there. It's right here on the screen. So once again, I want to apologize. Mr. Razak Olokoba would not be able to connect with us. We mentioned his name earlier. He's a public affairs analyst, so we really apologize because he would not be able to join us today. Probably, hopefully, subsequent editions will be able to speak to Mr. Razak concerning these issues that we have on the front burners, as it is. All right, so let's move on quickly. Let's talk about some of the things that is happening in the world of entertainment. Yes, that is where we are going into right now on the show. Now, and entertainment, the matter concerning the death of Mohbad is still trending as it is. And this time he's trying to sue music producer K of character. Now, controversial singer Naira Marley has threatened to sue K Solo for making baseless accusations against. Now, you recall that while speaking in an interview program, K Solo slammed Naira Marley, and he said that he claimed that Naira Marley is involved in the unfortunate demise of his ex-signee Mohbad. Now, during the interview, K Solo had said that Naira Marley is involved in
information. Amazing, right?
Well, I won't say it's amazing, but then everybody should just have to watch what they say. That's just the thing. It's part of the things that we know. You cannot accuse somebody without having basic
Solid
evidence.
evidence.
It's the same thing we are talking about in the court of law. You have to place your matter beyond all reasonable doubt for the court to be able to give you that particular judgment. Right now, so far from the people that the police have brought forward that are involved in the cases, it's looking as if, in fact, from the cases so far, it's not pointing towards Mali anymore. The cases is now between the nurse who the police have mentioned and also his friend Prime Boy. So right now, Naramali's team have come outside to case Solo that, bro, you talk somehow before. Right now, they are going to sue him, and this kind of cases, and I'm sure Naramali would want to see to these facts. And for others too that are watching, it's now at this day and age, everybody should know about what defamation of character is. You can't say something against someone and not have evidence or proof that yes, this person did this person
Person
said
did
that.
that.
You should have those proof. The phones, either you have a voice recording, you have a screenshot, you have papers to back up your claim, pictures that can at least help you to buttress your facts. So part of this is what Naira Marley is fighting for. It's a case, so you have tarnished my image and I don't like it, so I'm going to court just to make you a scapegoat in this particular issue. Just like you mentioned before, when this case came up at the first instance, people were already mentioning names of Samilari Naira Marley,
Yeah.
but right now that the investigations have started going on, these guys were not in the country at that. Yes, they still have other cases to answer for, but concerning the murder case or the death of Mohbad, the investigation so far is showing that probably his hand is not involved. That is why he's filing this case in court. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. But first off, he has to clear his name from this one, then move on to the other one. As we see, await other things to come out from this particular one.
Yes. Okay, okay. So we have another news we bring to you this morning on Lagos this morning, which is the case of the university student who was killed, and some of our body parts were actually removed. Let's quickly talk on that. As a university student, a 300 university student of Port Harcourt, whose remains body was found in her boyfriend's apartment. It's this is something, this is something that keeps lingering. I mean, it's everywhere, not just in Port Harcourt, not just in Nigeria. It's actually everywhere. There was earlier this year, there was a case, a young UNILAG student who was also killed by her boyfriend, Killer Boy. And we have the case of Osta and Killer Boy, who was killed. So this is a case that keeps coming up and coming up. And who are we to blame? I mean, who do we blame for all this? Is it the government? Is it the person? Is it the lady? Is it the guy? Is it the people we have that are greedy, who just want a quick money, and then they are looking for young ladies, young guys to use for ritual?
Society, basically, if you're with in that particular instance, so many people you can blame. The person, the society, the upbringing, parents,
Yeah,
there's so many things you can attach to. But then again, in many of these issues, we've seen many of these things happen. You look at the picture of this guy from New York, no piercing, low cuts, no tattoos. Nobody will want to suspect that.
nobody
Yes,
wants to.
allegedly, because he has come out to deny that he didn't do it. Allegedly, he's saying he didn't do it, that he just came in and saw her dead in the house. So he has, because the matter is going to be, it's going to court basically. The matter is going to court. That he has come outside to deny. But then look at many of these things happening right now in the country. Yes, it's basically not something that we are happy about. The trend is continuing. It's really not nice as it is. Yeah. So now the question: who do we blame in this particular one? As it is, who do we blame in this kind of things? Yeah. What do we do? Who do we blame? The society, the nation, or the government. Yeah. Who they blame
It's
it
very
basically. I
sad.
think we have the video.
I report this thing now. Everybody is blaming for me. Everybody is blaming for me.
So why was her body dismembered?
To dismember,
How
I
come?
don't know. I don't dismember her body. I don't think that.
What was the last meal you people ate before that girl slept that night?
This was snacks and the Hollandia yogurt.
Hollandia yogurt. Who served her with the Hollandia yogurt?
Hollandia exotica. It's me. It's me that.
It's
It's
you.
me that brought it. It's both of us that drank it.
So after when you find out the body, since you did not report to the police, did you call any of our family member or our friend to report that this is what happened to her?
No, I don't know.
Why? Why? Okay, when your brother came to the house, what did you not say? What did you do to tell him?
I didn't even tell my brother. I didn't tell anybody. I was just very scared. But I didn't know what to do.
Are you alone in the compound? Or do you have any other neighbors? And why didn't you report to your neighbors?
I don't report to my neighbors because I'm just new in the compound. I just moved in.
How long ago?
I moved in like a week ago.
We are
From the alleged suspect, he has come out to say he is not involved in it. He was in the house. He went out to get something. And came back to her there. So many questions, and you ask yourself, well, this is where we need the police to do their work.
Their work.
Yeah, so they have to do their work, and we have to see to the end of this case. But
Yes.
then, causes of high rates of ritual killings amongst youth, because now not just that she was killed, body parts, sensitive body parts were
We're
missing.
missing. It's a sign of ritual.
You cut
Yes,
the
of
body
ritual.
parts, cut the like dismembering the body. And we've seen things like this, we've heard of things like this. So now, look at the youths of these days. We now see high cases of these things happening. High cases. It's rampant these days. It's not like it was before in those days. It's rare on rare occasions. And even if you want to hear it, it's probably the elderly ones. But these days, if this is a 400 level student, a student that is even in school, yeah, you even come online these days, you see a child of 15 getting saying I'm depressed. What does a child of 15 know about depression? Yeah, I think just do a free advert. You need to listen to Eriga's new album. Basically, it was saying so many things about children of 12, telling you they are going through a lot because of what is happening outside there. You see so many things. The pressure outside
You know,
is too much, and you want to now
you know,
feel among.
I was having a conversation with someone, and then the person told me that he overheard a young lady calling a friend of ours who was sweeping, calling our wife material. As much as that doesn't really sound decent, but look at it. What does a 13-year-old know about wife? I mean, what do you know about marriage? But how you should be thinking about your studies. So, the era we are now is just all about, I mean, their knowledge has widened, and then they say a lot of things. They what's the word? What's the word?
You do things a lot.
They
Very
do
pressure.
things a lot, peer pressure. They learn very fast. Anything you do in their presence, they grab it so fast. So that is what we are facing right now. We no longer have the kids act like kids. We don't have the adults act like adults.
Basically, one of the problems you could also bring to this one is that negligence from parents these days. Many parents are so busy, they don't have time to talk to their children anymore. And there's a point at which a child goes through, that there's this thing called PG, parental guidance is always needed. Guide the child from this and that, guide the child from this. The guidance is basically needed. These are things that we know that we should, because the way it's going, it's scary in the country that we're living in right now. For many of us that are still yet to give birth, imagine giving birth and things like this are happening. You'll be scared to even let your girl child go outside. Before now, I was praying that my first baby should just be a girl, but I'm scared. And you look at things going on right now, you're scared of, not just because you're scared because you didn't train this girl very well. You're scared of she might go outside and meet a person that is untrained. Now look at this girl that they killed. So
Yeah.
if you read about her, many of her friends are saying good and nice things about her. She's well, she doesn't have issues with she's nice person,
Pretty
doesn't have,
lady.
and then it's what it is. So please, everybody should just be very, very, very careful. Whether in a relationship, you have to be very careful. The
Yes.
young ones, the youths, you're in school, you need to
And
be very
please
careful.
have valid communication. Have good communication with your partner. Communication that will help you know your partner more.
Good
Don't
communications.
just assume. Don't
Yeah.
live with your own assumption. Speak. From the way your partner talk, you'll be able to know the kind of person he is.
You understand? Have good communications. You can see we are communicating together. She's my partner on the show, just calm down on the show. So we are communicating.
Yes.
So you have to have these things. Things will work out very well. And also don't
Yeah.
forget to be safe. Try and be vigilant. Shine your eyes, shine out so nicely. It's important.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Now, before we go, on the lighter note, it's Friday. The weekend is here. I don't know your plans for the weekend, but then I have my plans. I know you have your plans.
Of course.
We have our plans for the weekend, not together. We have our plans, different plans. But then we want to leave you with something that's, that's would shake your body, not to shake your body, as to make you smile. Ren or mockery. While we're talking about it, I think somebody mentioned that, he mentioned to Peter Obi that you can never win election as long as I'm alive. Now, we're not talking about his message. We're talking about the dance moves. Yeah, have you seen that leg work before? Let's see this from Red Mockery. We'll be right back.
From the day I was born till today, I have not suffered the way I've suffered from the hands of obedience. And I'm telling you, Peter Obi, you will never be president of Nigeria. From the day I was born till today, I have not suffered the way I've suffered from the hands of obedience. And I'm telling you, Peter Obi, you will never be president of Nigeria.
70s, in those years, those are the kind of dance, not the one we dance this days, not the Gen Z kind of dance.
Not the leg back, but not the
Not the
sharp
dance.
and everything.
This dance, once you dance, this dance a lot, yeah. It's called you are keeping fit. Yeah, keeping fit. Now let's talk about your favorite video, yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's on the lighter mode, let's have
And thank you very, very much. We'll meet again next week. Thank you.
Naira Eko, Esamba Seko.